Hey guys, it's Granular Sumo here. Um, yeah, today I'm gonna show you how I made this bass sound. It's pretty simple, and I only spent like a really short time actually arranging that, but yep, I'm sure someone will find a use for it. It's not really the stuff that I normally make. So it's fairly simple, like pretty similar to the thing that I made before, but I didn't do any resampling this time. Um, but it'll probably be pretty difficult to get the exact same results as I did, so I'll put the rack up like to download. There'll be a link for it in the description. So yeah, I'll just walk you through it quickly. I'll turn all these effects off first so I don't forget that they're on there. So yeah, basically it's just so I started out with this instance of operator. It's just one of them to begin with. And I basically just like spent a little bit of time like drawing in some waveforms here, like in the I'm using all four oscillators, and I just spent a bit of time like sort of trying to get like a kind of vowely sound, I guess. I'll just turn this up a bit. So what I've done is I've just drawn in some random waveforms, then assigned these three oscillators to their own macro dials here, changed the course on a couple of them, and turn the spread up a bit, and turn glide on and set it to 200 milliseconds. Didn't really end up using that apart from this first note though, but it's kind of useful for other things anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I turned the tone up to 90% as well. And basically what I've done here is I've turned the filter on and set it to a notch and turned the frequency all the way up to full, and then I've used this LFO and set it to the filter, turned off all these here, so it's just affecting the filter. Turn the amount up to 100% and set the rate. I just messed around with the rate a little bit until I found something that kind of just gave it a bit of movement, if you can hear that at all. In fact, I'll turn this up a bit more. So yeah, like just to give you a better idea of what kind of sounds you can get out of messing with these. Okay, so yeah, then I basically just duplicated it and changed the waveforms a bit. Like, it's pretty similar. I didn't really change much. I changed the fine tuning for this first oscillator there, so it added a bit more wideness and movement to it. And I turned the spread up a little bit, but not by much. And that's literally all I changed on the actual operator for this. And then I also have this third instance of operator it's just a sub, but I've added some triangle into it, and it has the same glide settings, and that's it. Then what I did was, yeah, so I started putting effects on here. I put this saturator like after this operator. Turn the drive up a bit. Um, turn on soft clipping. Turn the bass down to -12. Turn the width and depth all the way up. I turned it onto the sinoid fold setting. I don't know if I already said that. And set a macro for the frequency like I normally do. That's here. I'll keep this solid for now. Then I put a amp on afterwards. Didn't change any of the settings. I don't know if blues is the default, but that's the one that I used. And I turned the dry wet down to 18.3%. And then afterwards I just put a band pass and a notch filter like in parallel in this audio effects rack, and then macroed the frequencies of them individually. So like, yeah, so there's a separate macro for the bandpass and the notch frequency, and then macroed them over here so I didn't have to do stuff over there. Forgot to turn it on. Just so I could add more movement and stuff into it. That's all I did for this chain here. This is pretty much the same effects wise, apart from before the saturator I decided that I wanted this to be a bit wider sounding. So I'll just turn up one of the... So what I did was I made another audio effects rack and put a chorus and a flanger in parallel, just to make it a bit wider. And I don't think I really changed anything apart from the dry wet. I'm pretty sure everything's pretty much default. And it's pretty much just down to preference with those kind of things anyway. Then this saturator is pretty much exactly the same as the other saturator, apart from I turned the bass to 0. And it's set to the same macro dial back here. Then let's see. Yeah, then this is just the same filter or effects rack as the other one. It's exactly the same, and they're macro to these as well. What I didn't mention was that when I set macros for all these dials, what I did was I set maximum values for some of them so they couldn't go too high and get too sharp sounding, just because you can't really get, it's really difficult to get like decent sounds when there's too much FM going on. Yeah, and then I just put some compression like on the whole thing, like so it's affecting everything together. Just set the attack to 0.01, the release to 1.2, the ratio to 10, and turn the makeup up until it sounded like loud and stuff, but wasn't distorting, because that's a problem that you get if you turn it up too much. This is just there because it was too loud for the tutorial at the time. So basically what I've done here is I've just like drawn some notes in randomly. Well, not randomly, it's just like an E and then an E, the octave down, and then an F. I think that's literally all it is. And I just did some automation on all these. You can do whatever you want for that though. It doesn't really matter. Like it's pretty easy to get those growly kind of sounds with how this is set up. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. I just like bounced it down, and then just started like arranging it. I guess I only spent like 5 minutes on it. Yeah, it's this. If I remember to turn it on. That's literally, that's like I made all the rest of these, like all these other basses are made out of the same sample. I just put them into a sampler and did stuff to them. Like you can see how I do that kind of stuff in my previous videos. And then these like more glitchy kind of sounds, like I won't bother showing you that because if you watch like any of my um, any of my live stream videos, you'll see how I do that kind of stuff. It's really easy. I won't bother going through it. So yeah, hope that helped, and I'll catch you guys later.